because last time we have upset that we can come to Singapore. Finally, we Alhamdulillah, we can come to Al Arabiya. This is part of our project entitled Teaching Strategy for 21st Century Learners, focused on the Islamic school, Sekolah Madrasah. Because Sekolah Madrasah in Thailand, specifically in southern Thailand, our quality is still lower than the standard when compared to the government school, compared to the private school that not belong to the Muslim people. We still below. The government, they support the budget to the school. One student, $400, $400 for 1 year.
US dollars.
Singapore dollars.
Yes, Singapore dollar.
For 1 year, the government subsidized $400 for 1 year for one student. If you have 10 students in the school, you time 10 for 1 year. That one is for teacher salary, the management and everything. Still not enough actually. Still not enough. But the government asks why we already support you the budget. Why you can rise up your quality, education quality. And this is the reason why we are doing the research, because most of the schools we still in the same, like the curriculum divided, not integration. 10 subjects per day students have to learn. Morning, academic, networking,
Islamic. Make sure.
Then to study Aqidah, Fiqh, Hadith. So one way to like we want to reduce the subject matters, understand we will study not so much lesson for the student. So we have to learn how Singapore, Indonesia and Malaysia have done for improving the people school, especially in the 21st century. So our study will focus on the teaching strategy and also the curriculum, what your curriculum design for the student. Actually for the school administrator, we just want to ask about the policy in the 21st century, what is the school policy in the next future, what you are going
Any
to
support
to achieve. It's also the challenge for Islamic school, specifically for Islamic studies. We are worried about Islamic studies teachers. They graduate from Arabic countries. They not really know how to integrate between the content, the technology in the classroom. Maybe here you have a lot of experience you have done. Like we interview the Ustad. He's very nice. He's very
active.
Yeah, active teachers. We have learned many things from him.
First question.
Yeah.
Okay. Just as you wrote yourself, I'd like to introduce myself. I'm a brother in Islam. My name is Herman. I joined the school in 2011, May 2011.
2011.
Yeah, after spending about 13 years in national school, mainstream school. So I am an engineer by training, mechanical engineer. Then I switched to education about 20 years ago. So I've been 7 years in this school. So you can ask me curriculum, commissioning and that kind of thing. If the question comes, I will answer inshallah. Miss Aisha Abdul Manaf, she is much longer than me in the school. So if you want to know about the school history, you know how it has progressed, how it has progressed prior to 2011 to now until 2018. Between 2011 to 2018, it has been very, very rapid progress. Okay. And Miss Aisha is also in charge of the staff development, staff professional development. So some of those questions that you raised just now you can ask her about professional development. Okay. Now, in addition to that, maybe I can. In addition to that, this is the school history, right?
Yeah.
So we were founded in the 1930s. Okay. So you can see for yourself how the school has evolved. So we were a school like this once before. Then it burned down. It got burned down, and then we moved. Something like that. Yeah. And this was the turning point in 2009 for the joint madrasah system. I think that's how madrasah got to know about Irshad and all these kind of things. So what you're looking at when it comes to the vision and mission, this was crafted when I joined 2011. Alright, because I found that the mission statement was very wordy, the vision nobody remember. So what we did was we tried to put all of them together so that teachers can all go through the tangent. I think personally I think it's important that teachers know, like what you have mentioned, the direction that we are going. But how do we go about making or establishing the understanding? That's important. You see, so for me, when I joined, I used the strategy map, the balanced scorecard approach. Strategy map. The strategy map was useful because when teachers look at the strategic objective, they can locate themselves. Oh, okay, so we want to do this because it will help us to achieve some of these things. Yeah, so those things are important. So these two newsletters, so the strat map, I think you have a copy. Is it your room, no?
Yeah, I have a copy.
You have a copy inside your room, so you can look at the strategy map. Then this is actually, there were actually 3 newsletters. This is the most latest that was produced last year. Last year?
No, this year.
Oh, this year. It was this year.
Once a year.
Yeah, once or twice a year.
Twice a year.
Once or twice a year. This was before this, So over here, you can also take note of the alumni. I had some questions just now about to the parents about whether they want to go. Yeah, so there's an alumni here. That will be a bunch. So, and then, okay, so you notice all this. Will you be in Singapore tomorrow?
No.
Or you won't be in
On
Singapore?
Saturday.
You won't be
Still here tomorrow.
Still here tomorrow.
Tomorrow still
If
here.
you are here tomorrow, then I will encourage you to buy the newspaper Berita Harian.
Berita Harian.
Yeah, because there will be one article on us tomorrow about our students, this group of students. This group of students. Berita Harian.
In general, I'm looking at your implementation very well. Alhamdulillah, you are doing so much about education in the 21st century. But I just want to know, what is the factor that you can move all those things, like the teacher, like the staff and everything? What is the important factor that you can implement all those things?
From traditional teaching method to the current one.
The factor that push you to go.
I think the changing educational landscape in general in Singapore, it's very rapid. The changes are very, very rapid. So for madrasah like ours, if we don't keep up, we will be left very far behind. As it is, madrasahs in Singapore, because we are a private institution,
Do you mean that because of the government push you is a factor from outside?
I think when I first joined the school, it was one of the least known madrasah in Singapore. We have 6 madrasahs. We were the least known madrasah. So if you ask members of the public to name 6 madrasah, they can say, oh, madrasah Madrasah Irshad, Madrasah Al-Sagar. Then they will get stuck. What's the last madrasah? Because it's so generic. And that is also a factor. So the factor is how then we establish ourselves. like you said, I think teachers can come together because there is there is a common vision to see that the
Common
school,
vision.
common vision to see that the school is able to or the school standing is there. Like I said, right, we cannot tell the other six madrasah. So first and foremost, we would like to establish our own branding in the light of six madrasahs. So we want to be unique. See, and the unique comes in the form of the curriculum that we offer. Right. So if you look at all the other madrasahs, the curriculum basically for the other madrasahs is like mostly 50-50. Like what you said just now about your school. You have 50% Ukrawi, and then another 50% academic. For us, it's more like 70-30.
Academic.
Academic 70%. The reason being because most of our graduates they will go to polytechnic to become engineers, architects, doctors, and things like that. So they don't see themselves to become asatiza. I mean, not all of them. They see more of themselves as more Muslim professionals. Professional Muslim as a Muslim professional.
Although they are engineering, but they can speak Arabic.
Yeah.
They can memorize Quran.
And like this particular person, this is a good example of our graduate, Sadiqul. What is the second one? First one.
The first one.
Okay, sorry, not here. We have a graduate called Sadiqul Amin. He is an electrical and electronic engineer in the Singapore MRT system. So from Monday to Friday, he's an engineer. Saturday, Sunday, he is a teacher. He is teaching small children.
Where is it? In the masjid or in the school?
Masjid.
No, masjid.
Mashallah.
Okay. So that was the first motivation. We want to establish ourselves in the six madrasah branding. The second motivation was that because we offer more academic subjects, we have to see ourselves in the whole landscape of the education system. So that means we don't look at ourselves and say, oh, we give excuses, we are madrasah, therefore, we are so heavy, we cannot perform. No, I said, no, because we also take in new students at the secondary one level. Whether you like it or not, after they leave school, they will start choosing, right? So why would they choose a madrasah over a national school? Why should they do that? You see? And if they decided to choose for the spiritual, then why not they choose other madrasahs? Why they choose mine? Right? So the second thing is that we have to establish ourselves against the national school. So we're not afraid. So what we do is we benchmark our performance against other schools' performance. National schools, not madrasahs. Yeah, so for English, our math, our sciences, our humanities, we are not afraid. We take
So nowadays you benchmark with the government school, not madrasah.
madrasah, no need. You see, because we believe that when it comes to the other madrasahs, I think we are okay. But in order for us to improve further, then we have to stand. Whether we can have equal standing in terms of student achievements. Yeah. So
They heard of the education is a teacher. I believe that before you are coming here, before we change the mindset of the teacher, is it hard for you to change the teaching method, the mindset?
definitely. Yeah.
How
I think
the
the
secret that you
biggest
have
change,
done?
Secret.
I think the biggest change is actually the formation of JMS lah. The joint
Madrasah system.
The joint madrasah, before joint madrasah system, our madrasah operates as an institution under another parent body. It's a self-help organization that looks after mostly the welfare of the community. It's an association. It has 3 branches. One branch looks into da'wah, of course, because it's a Muslim organization. Another will be under welfare. The other one, another branch is education. So we came under that umbrella. But once they decided to accept this invitation to join this madrasah, under the joint madrasah system, a lot of things change.
It means that the joint school curriculum also one factor that affect to your school.
Yes. Sorry again. What is it?
The joint
The GMS. The GMS curriculum.
also the one factor that affect.
Yes, definitely, because we have access to people like Mr. Herman, where before it was under the organisation and it's a Muslim organisation. The leaders, the school leaders at that time were picked by them. So and when they pick the school leaders, of course, the aspects are different. You know, again, like I said, because the focus is not solely on education. The focus, I mean, they have 3 branches, so they tend to look at education as just one of the things that they have to manage. But once we came under GMS, everything changed. The direction also has to change. You see?
But let me try to answer his question.
Yeah.
I think a strong leadership is important.
Strong
school
leadership.
yeah. You know why? Because prior to my me joining
Strong leadership of who?
the principal.
Of the
Yeah,
school.
principal. I'm not praising myself. I'm about to ask Ms. Aisha to explain what do I mean by that. Because prior to my joining the school, how many principals do you have in a span of what?
I
10
think,
years?
I think I joined the school actually in 1999. Okay, and from 1999 to just before Mr. Yatman joined us, which is 2011, I think there were about slightly less than that. I think about seven change in leaderships. You know, the principles keep
You
changing.
will see the change.
Yeah, so with every change of the principal,
I saw at the board.
yes, you saw that. So it seems like every 2 years there's a change.
At most 2 years.
There's
Yes,
a-
So I'm the longest serving.
So it's very difficult for us to move.
But you know, in our country as well, when the school administrator is not come from the educational background, like you from the engineering,
Yeah.
from nursing, from mainly
The former
the leadership is
from pharmacy.
different. The former principal from pharmacy.
Okay, but maybe the main difference is that even though Mr. Herman, he says he was engineer trained in engineering, but he also had a stint in education. He was trained also as a teacher, in fact a school leader before he joined our school. So there's a vast difference, you know, in determining where we go, what our curriculum, what is our program, the school programs. All that plays a very big role, because again I've seen the different school leaders over the years, you know, and most, if not all of them, are actually from spiritual leaders lah, mostly. Yeah, ustads, mostly. So
Is
mudir, we call it mudir.
Is there any factor from the communities, the parent and association, or any other factors that?
See, when I joined in 2011, there wasn't any parents involved. There wasn't that. So Mr. Kamal just, he was the first president of the parents involved. So that came later. I agree with you, because there are certain stakeholders which are important to the school. Parents is one of them. The community around us is also another one. And so in 2011, when I first came in, I look at the school and how they conduct themselves. Then I realized that they do not mix around. They are very cloistered. That means they are inward looking. So to them, the outside world is very bad. You know, very suspicious. You see. So our students should not participate in any of the activities outside, because they will be exposed to free mixing. They will be exposed to music. They will be exposed to
Issue LGBT,
many things they will be exposed to. But my stand is, this is a school. If you don't learn how to conduct yourself, then when are you going to learn? You see? Yeah. So I remember in 2011 when I first came, I asked my students to take part in the one love harmony.
The one up.
There was this event for students, where
Harmony
national
Works.
school students or harmony works,
Mm.
national school students come together and they talk about issues.
Mm.
So previously, my teacher said no, because they will have things like performance, boys and girls mixing around. So I said never mind, we learn. So when madrasah students from mine went there, the organizer will be like, hey, I think we need to prepare a prayer place. We need to prepare. But my question is, you have Muslim students attending, why you never want to prepare prayer place before? Just because our madrasah students come, now you want to prepare a prayer place. So based on just participation, mashallah,
It's the way of the da'wah.
rahmatan lillah, we brought rahmat to the whole group. Then my students, when they were there, they were leading prayers in the prayer room. So now the Malay Muslim students who were there, previously they don't, then they realize can do Zohor, so they come. Yes, after that there was performance, but my students didn't take. But what they do is that they will say, when it comes to the discussion of issues, right, then they take part. So if you want a school to be, if you want your students to be resilient, to be able to know how to respond to challenges like what you said just now, like activities and those kind of things, then you need to understand the field. And in order for you to do that, you need to be participating, not avoiding. Not avoiding. Yeah. I don't know whether you spoke to the English teacher,
Yes.
Suharani, because just a few weeks ago we talked about some controversial issues. So we are not afraid to talk it out, but some things may not go down well. In fact, some Muslims may not agree with us the way we do. So the challenge is not just to convince teachers, to have parents to be on the same thinking, but also the community. Because some say, okay, you're doing well. Some will say, no, that is not Islamic.
What is your image for Arabian school maybe for 5 or 10 years after? You're going to have a new building, right?
Yeah.
But after 5 years, 10 years, what this madrasah is going to
I don't even
be
know
like?
whether I'll be around. I don't know, but we want to
What
be.
do you expect?
Yeah. Sorry.
What do you expect?
Just how to prepare our kids
Kids
for the future.
for
What the school should be for the future.
You see, like I said earlier, our school madrasah curriculum is different from the other 5 madrasahs.
It's very interesting when we look at it.
Yeah.
We're a little bit confused, but the teacher already explained us what. Yeah, very
Yeah,
interesting.
even the Islamic subjects, dirasat diniyah, which is not examinable, and it is an integration of the different disciplines, fiqh, sirah, hadith, Quran, tafsir. So like what you have mentioned, if we were to read one by one, we will take a long time. Yeah, then we do this in English, different, English and Arabic. Whereas in the other madrasah is Malay and Arabic, or Arabic or Malay. So, yeah, because for us in Singapore, it's mostly English speaking. When you are challenged, you have to respond in English, not Malay or Arabic. So if then you need to be familiar with the terms that you use, and some of those spiritual terms that we use are not very unlike the Christian way of talking. Talk about blessings. Blessing. Siapa yang cakap selalu pasal blessing, pasal Lord Almighty, kan? So that's getting used to. So when you ask me, the graduates of mine, what is my mission? That they will be very significant in the community. They are, like what we have mentioned just now, they are not only Muslims, and they are faithful, practicing, but the example I gave you earlier, they will lead the community. Maybe not like asatiza, maybe not like mufti, but they will be because of their academic background, then they will be a very strong economically. Yeah. So during the day, they are engineers, they are doctors, accountants, but in the evening, they are
About the teachers' professional development, do you have any activities or any program to develop the teacher professional development?
Every year we will have a training plan.
I heard that some of your teachers going to the US, to New Zealand,
To Japan.
Yeah.
to Japan.
That's the initiative from MUIS also. MUIS is a Majlis Ulama Islam
Like from Canada, like
Canada.
no Canada.
from Professor
Majlis Ulama Islam
Training.
trainer from Canada, like teacher said.
Oh,
UBD.
Susan.
Susan Victor.
UBD, the understanding by design. Yeah, again I said our training partners, we have a few training partners. At the beginning of the year, mostly we will design. We will have a training plan for the teachers. Alhamdulillah, we are supported by MUIS, by the
No, I
training.
think we need to talk about the three organizations. When it comes to professional development, when it comes to professional development, it will come from three initiatives, three main organizations. One is Majlis Ulama Islam Singapura, and one from Majlis Ulama Islam Singapura there's two. One is the MCD, which is the Madrasah Curriculum Development Unit
From
from
under the
MUIS,
Mrs.
Majlis
Islam.
Ulama Islam. Then the other one is Madrasah Policy and Planning Unit.
From
there's
MUIS
two,
as well.
From MUIS as well. And the third one is school-based assessment.
This is from
School-based assessment is our own madrasah. Yeah.
It's mean that two from MUIS, two unit from MUIS.
Okay. What she's trying to say is that first, in the beginning of the year, we will identify where we want or how we want, what kind of skill set that we need teachers to have. Okay, learning needs. Okay. So
at,
when
at the beginning or at the end of the year,
at the end of the year, we have our strat planning and all
Where we
that.
do our review.
so you have a program to analyze what you need to develop. the
No,
teacher.
usually what I will do is I will do a SWOT analysis.
SWOT analysis.
SWOT analysis, you see. So like this, just this a few days ago, last week Friday, the Ministry of Education in Singapore announces that they will want schools in Singapore, the national schools, to cut down on one major examination, the secondary one.
Yes.
So there will be no longer mid-year examination, Sec 3 as well too. So that will impact the madrasah.
It's a pioneer. What? Is it all
All
schools?
schools.
Next
All
year
schools.
All
Next
schools
year.
this year. So they do not want to have a mid-year exam. They do not want for 13-year-old, that means secondary one, and 15-year-old as well too. So they want to reduce assessment. Alright. So that as part of our SWOT analysis, then they say they want to sharpen the formative assessment, assessment for learning, AFL. See. So for us, yes, we have been. We also want to improve our AFL, right? So that is key. So that is the school need. So when we do that, then we look at the horizon, what is available from us. So MCD, the Curriculum Development Unit of MUIS, will have a set of training program, and they usually focus on the asatiza.
Yeah.
Asatiza. So
Yes.
UBD, Understanding by Design, they roll out to the asatiza. They are also the champion. No, they are not the champion for lesson. Then for lesson study, it is the MPPU. So they have a certain budget that they will choose teachers to go to Tokyo, for example. No, sorry, Beijing.
Yeah. This
Beijing.
year is Beijing. Last year was Japan.
What
Beijing.
you learn in Beijing?
The conference.
Lesson study.
That's a
But in
conference.
Japan,
lesson
okay,
study.
then his school also use lesson study.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Then for us, like I said before, we wanted to improve on our AFL, assessment for learning. So we have engaged a vendor to look at questioning technique, feedback.
Feedback. Yes.
So you notice we have needs, then we look at the horizon. There are three providers: our own funding, then the Majlis Ulama Islam funding, then we deploy. We select teachers to go. Now, what you also need to ask is where do we get the funding? You see, so for teachers, they get from the MOEs,
Yeah.
MOEs which gets from
Actually
MOE
from
as well
MOE
too,
lah.
and
Actually
Ministry of
MOE.
Education. For
Per
each
head,
teacher,
the more is for per head or
per head,
per head.
$1,000, $1,000 per head.
For every teacher.
Yeah, for every teacher.
Sure.
1,000, right?
Yes.
1,000.
Yes.
For one
Actually,
year,
not just MOE.
one year.
MOE lah.
MOE per head. Okay, but you see the thing is MOE only provide for academic subject teachers. So for asatiza they don't. That's why MOEs comes into the picture and support asatiza. So dollar for dollar. So if an academic teacher gets 1,000, then asatiza also get 1,000. So this is the money that we use to get vendor to come in, to send seminar, and we also work closely with NIE, National Institute of Education, to get teachers to go for training. And then there's also formal training sponsored by MOEs, which is the specialist diploma in teaching, public poly. So that's the baseline.
But teacher themselves, they can
They can
have a
choose.
choice. They have a choice, right?
Yes,
What they want to.
Yeah, they can choose.
We will have dialogues, discussions with teachers. What do you want to? Which area do you want to move on?
Yeah.
And of course, look at the sources or resources that we have.
For you yourself, as the school administrators, for your professional development as the school administrators, do you have like collaboration, networking?
I mean, for me, if you look at my name card, I'm actually a seconded officer from Madrasah Islam Singapore. Yeah, so I can tap on MOE's funds to go for training. So take for example, I just came back from a master's program in leadership. So that program I received scholarship, some form of scholarship from MOE's. You know, yeah. So that's one. Then prior to coming to I was under the Leaders in Education program by MOE. Yeah, so I received some formal training there. Why I smile? That's why you saw me smiling, right? Because even at the national level, this is country, they have what they call the Skills Future initiative. So if you go to the website, you can find every Singaporean is given $500. Every Singaporean is given $500 to choose whatever that they want to do, to learn, to pursue.
For what age?
From what age?
Adult, every adult Singaporean.
Every adult.
Every adult Singaporean.
Good question. What age? Because if you're 40 and above, you can apply for some grants that can be as much as $10,000 or $5,000. You see? So all in all, if you meet the criteria, you can get as much as $15,000. So for me, I would ask my teachers, go and take a master's. Then I encourage them to apply. You know, because once they get a master's, MOE will top up every year for those who have masters, 3,000 Singapore dollars every year.
For a private school?
Even for madrasah, not private school, but madrasah. Yeah. So madrasah teacher teaching academic subject will get a financial incentive if they have masters up to 3,000.
Direct to the teacher account.
Direct to the teachers.
Go through MOEs.
Go through MOEs, go to school,
Because
then we
MOEs-
deduct CPF.
Yeah.
CPF.
No, that one no
No, nothing else.
That
Okay,
one
inshallah.
3,000.
I don't know because I don't get. It's only for teachers.
Yeah.
I don't get.
You find a subject and you can be the teacher too. You teach one subject.
I teach. I
Leadership
teach
or
math.
different scheme.
Scheme, yeah.
But those are the kind of assistance that we receive, lah, alhamdulillah. You know, again, if you want to talk about changes, that's one of the major changes.
For bachelor
Sorry.
degree,
What degree?
Sorry?
For bachelor
Bachelor.
degree.
Bachelor's degree.
Bachelor degree.
Yes.
The teacher got the funding from the MOE.
All teachers get the funding. You see, this financial, we call it financial incentive. This financial incentive was just given to madrasas.
And how much for bachelor?
Per teacher is actually $3,000.
And when you get master,
Masters you
double.
get another 3,000. On
What
top.
was it? 3,000?
That's the basic tier. That's the basic tier. She was asking about all teachers.
So
whether all
financial
teachers
tier,
get
which one? One,
the
two,
first
three?
one. The first one. There are 3 types of tiers.
Oh, the
financial
250 a
tiers.
month,
Yes,
is it?
the 250 per month. The first tier is actually for all teachers, irrespective of whether you are trained or not trained. As long as you are teaching in a madrasah, that's the support given by the government, by MOE, and which is matched by MOEs.
250.
Yes,
I
250
think you
per
need to be
month.
trained.
No, the first one is the first one. As
Second one
long
need to be trained.
no,
And
I
then
don't need to be trained. The
Thai
first
two
one.
after train.
After that, if you are trained, then you get a top up of $1,500 one time.
1,500
Yes, that's called financial incentive
time.
too. Yes, one time.
for 1 year.
Yes, in the whole year
Okay.
you get one time. It's you normally disbursed at middle of the year. Okay, the first one is disbursed monthly. Every month you get 250. Every month adds up to 3,000 at the end of the year.
And then when you got master degree,
You get master's degree at the end of the year you get another 3,000.
3,000.
Yes.
But we are not always like this.
Yes.
We're always like this,
That's
yeah.
what I'm
but
saying.
it's okay. Just want
It's
to
the
the
change.
idea of
Yeah.
the mode.
Prior to 2011, 2010,
Mhm.
the income of teachers teaching in madrasah was very low.
Very low.
In
Very
fact, when I joined, I realized that some even qualify for financial assistance because they are below the mean income of Singaporean, very, very low. So they fall under the low income or household that require special assistance. Teachers, got degree and all that.
I think every country is.
Oh, every country is like that.
Every country is for madrasah
Oh, is it?
Oh, madrasah.
Oh, yeah. You must tell all of them.
compared to the government school.
Oh,
or
yeah.
some.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you understand. So only in recent times, we receive some assistance. In fact, even our students also get some assistance. Yeah. So there's this thing called the EduSave. I'm not sure whether study is familiar. EduSave. Only a few years ago, after 20 years of the initiative for national schools, then our students receive EduSave. For secondary, it's about $240 per year, and that money can be used for students' program. Yeah. So I think at the end of the day, policy curriculum is one thing, but you also need to be able to manage your finances well, to be able to balance the assistance given by the community, the government, and the other sector. So take for example our new building is supported by Majlis Ulama Islam Singapore through zakat, wakaf, and all that. It's not from government.
Like Richard is not Richard
Yeah,
from
similar.
movies.
Yeah, similar. And then the rest we have to raise funds. So we are raising funds. Yeah. And
I suggest that you make the majority for the international student.
oh, okay.
Yes.
I will send my son, my daughter.
You can come to our open house on the 10th November. If you want.
Yeah.
10th November.
10th of this
10th
November.
Saturday.
November
It's
is
an
our
open
open
house.
house.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
November.
10 November.
Okay.
10 November. From 9 to 12 is a Saturday. You will learn a lot more, I think.
Because we with some of the parents in Thailand, they want to send the kid to
Yeah,
Singapore,
but
but
there is
have
no dormitory provided,
Yeah.
so it's
If you
very
have a
difficult.
dormitory, just maybe 10 students.
Or like maybe hostel or family
Ibu
hostel.
bapa angkat.
We will send the international students.
Because we would love to send our kids
We
here.
can find
We
maybe
have
10 to 20
students from
students come
Indonesia,
to
and they are very good students, but they have their own accommodation. Yeah, so we don't provide at the moment.
Can afford the accommodation.
And maybe another, probably for overseas students, you must understand that for us, we do take international students, but they must be dependent pass holders. That means their parents are
Stay
working
here.
here and support them or sponsor them to be here in Singapore.
Yes.
Then only we can take them in as our students. Because for now, we are not able to take international students who just wish to study here. When the parents are not working here, they do not have that pass, we are not allowed to.
I see.
Yeah, and the fee is quite expensive. as well.
Yes, and the fees.
About
It's
800.
okay for the fee actually.
Oh, it's okay, sure.
Yeah, it's okay for the fee. If you have a dormitory, there are some parents they can support.
No.
Oh, I see.
Maybe they send the student to the UK, or spiritual health.
Is there anything else?
It is okay.
Brother, you have anything?
Pardon?
You have anything to ask me?
Yeah, I think it's clear. It's clear
I
from
think
your
we
explanation.
should do something
Yeah.
to give a training to the school administrator.
Yeah.
We have so many projects actually, like the professional development for the school
School.
leaders.
Management team.
We are very interested in how you design the balance scorecard
Yeah.
for the school, how to reform the school to the new paradigm, the new education.
Would you like to get the strategy back? Maybe she.
Can I have your school curriculum? Do you have? Maybe just for the
Our
example.
curriculum is actually MOE curriculum. Seriously, our curriculum
You can
is.
go to our website.
Yeah.
It's there, it's there.
It's there.
Yeah, you go to www.mind.edu.
I think
It's there, it's there.
it's there.
But what is not there is the strat map. You want to take a look. Where is it at?
Yeah, there.
Is it resourceful?
You want to.
Anything relevant to your curriculum, your teaching?
Just show
give
them,
us.
just show them. Just show them.
Make things easy.
So if you look at the strat map, maybe you understand what I'm talking about teachers finding themselves. That's very important. Because when you talk about envisioning, you say common vision. You want to do that, but how to go about doing that? Not easy. So I'll be very upfront with you. Not all teachers may agree. Not all teachers may agree. Sometimes when you think about future, 10, 20 years, their future might be different. They might think otherwise.
That's true.
Yeah. What they are concerned about? What they are concerned about is what do I do inside my class? You know, how are my students learning? How am I contributing? And how are you appreciating? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For teachers, it's like that. So for some of them, you have to recognize that. You have to recognize that, and then you move on. So sometimes I say, let's just do it. Let's just do first. Okay. And I think after doing, then we sit down again and we say, what do you think? You know, is it was there an improvement or not? Because when you first start, you want them to start doing something. Let's take for example, UBD, understanding by design. You can tell them it's good.
Yeah.
But all they're concerned about how to do. You know. So we need to handle them. So my training, for example, if I do have training, my training is never one workshop. If there is workshop, it will be introductory, the theory and all that. Then it will be followed by consultation and classroom observation and those kind of things. So this is so you can have a look. So maybe I share. So this is our vision, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So 2018, we will do this again. So this is our vision. Previously, our vision was very long.
Yeah.
Very long. Okay. Then this is our values. Even these two rights value also very important.
Yes.
Remember I told you
Yeah.
that we were madrasah that nobody know, so we need to rise.
Yes.
And then so this is to motivate students, motivate teachers as well too. So this is the outcome that we are looking at. This is the whole country, as well as the Islamic Religious Council outcome that they're looking at.
This is from the stakeholders, government,
Yeah,
MOEs, and
MOEs.
you combine together.
Yeah, we
yes?
put them separately, you see. So resilient society is one of them, you know. And then we talk about educational hub. That means we want to be different. We want to offer a different curriculum, you know, the national school. And then being the
Education hub
best.
is mean that you have to open the channel for international students.
Yeah.
But we have, but small number.
Appreciate it.
Okay, and then about how we contribute to the human resource, development in Singapore. I told you before just now about our graduates being a very significant
Yeah,
item
that's
in economy as well as in the religious education. So this is the nation, you know, plus the Muslim Community Excellence, this one by Majlis Ulama Islam Singapore. Then for us, we are concerned about cognitive outcome, physical.
How
Yeah.
you are the customer, the student? Or?
The students is our customer.
Yes.
The students are our customer.
Yeah,
Okay. You can say parents, but
Consider.
parents can also be stakeholder. Okay, but
Students considered as customer.
yeah. So we look at their cognitive development, physical, social and moral, spiritual because we are in madrasah, leadership, moral, not moral but moral,
Yes.
and aesthetic. Aesthetic is also important. So if you look at this is a holistic development of students. Alright, holistic development of students. Then when you go down further, this is our internal processes, teaching and learning. Teaching and learning. Yeah? So we have 4 strategic thrusts. One is achieve good academic results. Okay. Second one is heightened spirituality. Right. And the third one is we talk about holistic development just now, right? So other than cognitive, then what else? The physical and all that is here. Then for us, partnership is also very important. We talk about partnership just now. You were asking that question, right? About the community. Yeah. So based on this, then when we look at it, what are the processes that will help us to get a good achieve academic results? Teaching methodology is one of them. Notice that this is the same question that you mentioned just now. And then curriculum. You cannot run away from curriculum. Right? And then over here is infrastructure. So you see us getting funds, collecting to get new building. Right? Then if you look further, what will result in teaching-centered methodology? Alright, experiential learning is one of them, and science education. Just now you talked to Mr. Salah, did he mention about the STEM program?
Yes.
Did he talk about the research skills program, RSP?
Yeah.
Yeah. So all these are enhancing, the scientific thinking of our students. And then of course we have things like differentiated learning process, because our students are different abilities. Some are high performing, some not so. Alright, but even for those not high performing, we offer them like robotics, for example. Yeah, and we do not excuse them from Tafiz, Quran, for example. So they take part. Right, so over here is the scholars program. So in order for us to have a strong footing, we need to have high performing students competing, against the other students. So we got to stretch them. They cannot follow the same curriculum, so they follow a different curriculum that is targeted towards stretching them even more. Then ICT is very important, especially cyber wellness. Now with social media, and fake news and all that, very, very important for them to learn how to conduct themselves. Then over here is the Rasat Dinia. This is about heightened spirituality, right? Yeah, so about and then over here about the internationalization of the Quran through structured Tahfiz program and all that internalization. Okay, and then over here you notice even CCA is important for us, right? CCE, student leadership, because in some schools, some madrasas, they don't see CCA as very important, or even physical education. For us, we take it very, very seriously. Our students sit for the national
physical
fitness award, yeah. So they sit, and then of course, what is this? This is important for us. The Rahmatan lil Alamin framework or program. I'll give you an example. In 2016, we were in Istanbul, Turkey. We were working with an NGO to help the Syrian refugees. So we sent students over here. So this year, we are sending our students to Negeri Sembilan, Opek Brago, right, to also assist, UNHCR with the refugee children. Now, this is not just a program, it is part of the Rasat Dinia. The Rasat Dinia has got level 1, level 2, level 3, set 1, set 2, set 3. The assessment, the authentic transfer task, the assessment is about service, how you service. So at set 1, they service the school. After they learn Islam, they service the school. Set 2, they service the community. Set 3, they service the international community. See, so, and what they learn in the Rasat Dinia, they have to translate it to the transfer task. You see? So in 1 year, when our students went to Cambodia, to Kampung Cham, they actually helped the missionaries to attend to the community, the lost community. They are Muslims, but they never pray. They are Muslims, the children don't know how to read Quran. So our children went there to teach the young ones how to read Quran. You see, so and that is a translation of what they have learned in school. Yeah, so they have to see themselves. This is what I meant by going out and then finding themselves in the community. Yeah. So they cannot see Muslims as being victimized all the time.
Yeah, that's
You know, they can have something positive to contribute. Yeah. Sorry, I long-winded. And then of course this one is so we have like A-star NUS scientists. So this is when we talk about the NUS scientists, our scholars program, our scholar. So some of our students, when they are in secondary, they will be attached to clinics, science labs, you know, and then US, so that they can engage themselves. And then this is the something that you were asking a lot just now about the structures, systems, and professional development, right? Sorry, I'm not well. So this one is Lopat, teaching methodology. Then UPUA, right? This is professional well-being. IT, physical resources, that's one you mentioned. CCA, I told you about CCA, very important.
Yes.
And then this one is always very important because we don't get government grants.
Yeah.
So we got to think ways how to get revenue. And then of course, operational efficiency is important because your systems need to be in place. So this is everything in a nutshell.
Very clear.
So if you talk about 10 years, this is what we want to
Yeah,
achieve.
that is very clear.
This is you have it on the website?
No.
No.
Yeah.
So just take photo here.
Yeah, we need.
But you can copy. It's a lot of work. Okay, it's a lot of work.
And it's not easy to
Very
create
clear
this
and concrete as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
So what do I mean when I say my teacher can locate themselves? When they go into the classroom, when they are teaching, when they're teaching ICT, for example, you know, or they know I must need to teach cyber wellness well, alright, because we want them to be able to be a good Muslim who is discerning, able to tell between fake news. How to address cyberbullying and all those kind of things. You see. So they know when they locate themselves here, they can see what is the outcome that we're looking at. That's what I meant.
And we are thinking of our own
I got
principal.
another
Sorry?
This is a topic.
My own principal at the school. They do this.
Ada
Good,
budget
alhamdulillah.
institution.
I try to find, but I cannot find. Yes.
This one.
But this is a bit complicated.
Islamic
Very
cyber
missing.
wellness.
Almarhum.
That's good.
Pass away already.
Yes.
Yeah. But can be a bit messy sometimes. So for each of these strategic objectives, there are KPIs.
Yeah.
There are KPIs. Yeah. So this is very nice. We can frame up, but the challenge is how to monitor.
How to implement it, how to monitor.
How to track. So for myself, I don't know whether you're familiar, I do linear regression, I do projections of the students' input, how they do in primary school. I share that with the teachers. So that becomes their target, linear regression. I do evidence-based approach, so we look at research before we implement certain initiative, things like that. So you can't really see all that in just 1 hour interview.
Question is based on the research. If you use the high level statistic to look at the result.
But you have Brother Sadiq here who says that his principal used to so you can use
Yes,
this.
yes.
Michael is
He is expert in strategy.
he's passed away
Passed
at a very young age,
Very how old?
43.
43.
Mashallah, you're very
But he have doing everything like this for the school, and then he passed away. But the people comes behind don't know how to use it. They implement.
About the same age I joined the school. 43.
Client.
Oh, Yusuf.
Satuan Yusof Lima.
Yes, sir. He's pharmacist.
Okay. Why don't you come? Let's have lunch.
Okay,
Lunch is
thank
here.
you.
Yeah,
Thank
come,
you so
come,
much.
come. If you want to do your salah, you can take your wudu in the toilet and then you can do your salah. But this is biryani. Is it okay? Chicken biryani. Is okay?
Yes. Mashallah.
Oh, yeah. Because, no, I think we can give it now because I'm going to look for meeting.
Okay, for our school, we can take photo.
Come. Yeah. Don't you want to first? No. This is the place I want to. Okay, photo. Yeah.
เชิญถ่ายรูปก่อนงามขนมให้หมอหน่อย
สตรัคเจอร์ของเปเปอร์ได้แล้วนะที่โลคอให้เรียบร้อยเลยปวดท้องอะไรพวกอีกเลย
But your dedication is for 10 November. If you're free,
Đây, tao đi sổ đi con sổ luôn.
ดูหน้าที่ดีแล้วสอง
Đây này.
Boleh? Boleh. Mungkin ada yang tidak selesai. Oh, yes.
Di lukis na.
We also have a complaint in my college, inshallah, in next year, we will invite you to my shop.
Usually around when?
Usually around September. The company is 2 years time. September.
Không phải
You also can send your students to
ใช้มือได้ไหมใช้มือได้ไหมถามทำไมอ่ะฉันไม่ได้ตอบเลยไม่ได้
This group is really big.
ผมไม่ได้เรียนไปเรียนไม่ได้มาทำอะไรสกุล
Okay, so we have
high school.
high school. Oh, high school is high school.
You may know, we just have the high school.
Oh, high school. So,
The Islamic demonstration.
so now we are setting up what kind of middle school.
The upper stage is
Upper secondary, which is pre-university.
ทำไม่ได้นอกคือ
we just receive budget from
คือของโปรดเลยนอก
Open program style, free program.
สอนเราต้องเป็นของดี
Private science school usually top 10.
Let us know. All this study, there is a city. There's a link. Is it possible to share? You have So I understand that this is the last week.
The last group for the community that and after this we will host
ร้านไหนอ่ะอะไรร้านไหนอ่ะ
So we
ร้านหนาวไม่เรา
So you come over.
inshallah.
They come over. Sejuk.
Nora Islam come for paper. Nora Islam. Sekarang okey. Nora Islam yang dengan dia pun lah saya.
Prof. Yeah, Prof. Yeah. So, bulan bulannya ada satu sistem yang iaitu
Really? I have to ask my
belum pakai lagi yang baik-baik lah.
dia kata visa.
How do you do visa? Kasih visa di
Everybody has to go.
Because the professor that came to see us, professor, we are supposed to have one macam seminar in Singapore. So far, belum dapat. Yeah, everybody have a time November slot. Tak ada masa tengok. Makan lagi lah. Kasih habis.
sayaขาดได้แล้ว
เขาไปเจอคนนั้นคนนี้เนี่ย
Ada di sini ya?
Ada di sini. Kemudian di
Jumpa besok punya.
Ya lah, betul. Ya dari kita
Generally, propose the budget from Temasek Foundation for the school in South Africa. Teacher training, our neighborhood very useful. Teacher training,
Yes. Dari dulu, if you have any question, I'll be in my room. But by 3 p.m. I will be in the school. So I can send it over. But the invitation is open. Sebelum hari dan thank you. It's very good.
Can you ask the formal letter?
Formal letter.
I really want to come, but we are government staff, right?
Well, I will send to send this
So if I need
information on that and electronic so I'll send CCTV.
but
You can do the survey.
formal letter.
Okay, sure.
tapi vai nắm nhau nhé
นะ
vai nắm nhau
น้ำเลย น้ำเลย
đấy mà lên lên mấy cái đấy đại
หมามุกแรกๆใครดู
người lên thế cái phần cái
ตอนนี้ช่วยปรับแอร์ให้เป็นยาสกีร้อนนะ
ปิดก่อนเลย
ปิดก่อนแป๊บนึงได้ไหมได้เดี๋ยวแหละว่าเขารอ
เมื่อกี้ใครตัด
ช่วยปิดก่อนนิดนึงก็ได้ไม่รู้สึก
รู้สึกไม่ได้แรงผมปิดเลยบ้างไม่เปิดเลยหนาวถ้าผมบ้า
ปิดก่อน
มา
แป๊บ
ในปิดอยู่ตรงไหน
บ้าแล้ว
หมายถึงว่าผ้าปูเตียง
คือเปิดปั๊บได้เราเปิดของเราต่ำสูงสุดเท่าไหร่ก็ต่ำเท่านั้น16คือ16
ปรับได้
นั่นไม่ปรับกันเลย
เราไม่เคยไปเล่น
ผมจะไม่ปรับง่ายเพราะว่าผ้าห่มมันหนาง่ายมาเมื่อคืนนั้นแล้วโอ้โหขานี่สั่นตัวสั่นเลยก็เลยปิดตอนแรกไม่ปิดลองเอาผ้าห่มตัวที่พี่ช่วยดีกว่าปิดเลยตอนนั้นไปซักก่อนไปซักตัวขาไม่อยู่เลยต้องปิดเครื่อง
เดี๋ยวทำไมวันนี้เปิด
มา
โอเปนเฮาส์
มาดูมาเที่ยว
ทานความสำคัญ
เปิดเลยได้บ้าง
มีอะไร
เกิดอะไรได้ 12,000 บาทไง12,000 บาทได้
เดี๋ยวไอเดีย
เดี๋ยวเท่าไหร่แกเก็บไปแล้วต้องติวหรอกแกติวฟรี
เห็นไหม
ติวอะไรมึงไปติวที่ไหนเนี่ยมึงก็แอปที่ติดกับกูมึงสอบได้แน่นอนแต่กว่าที่จะได้เก็บมึงจะไม่ได้หรอกแค่มึงเอาไปอยากสักเดียวมึงจะแค่ได้สิบเดือนได้
อยากได้สิบ
เดือนข้าวกินเด็ดเลย
จริงๆนะคิดถึงเบโซขึ้นมาจริงๆเลยจากแก
ทำหมดแล้วก็ทำหมดแล้วจะได้ดีใช่ไหม
ให้ตัวเลขส่วนหนึ่ง
จะถึงหรอ
เป็นพอโรงพยาบาลก็คือเอาไว้ในกับตัวที่เป็นแม่หนองแล้วก็เป็นหนอง
นั่นเดียวต้องกดเงินไหน
มีภรรยามีลูก
แต่ไม่เกี่ยวที่นี่ไม่เกี่ยวตัวนี้กันเลย
แล้วก็เอาแต่ถึงว่าคอนเซ็ปต์เกินงานมันจะถึง
ชอบอยู่แล้ว
แก
เป็นนักศึกษา
เป็นแกเป็นผู้เชี่ยวชาญเรื่องวิทยาศาสตร์แต่แกทำงานของบ้านแต่แกเป็นคือแกเป็นเภสัชที่โรงพยาบาลแต่แกก็รู้สึกว่ามันจะเป็นอยู่แบบนั้นโดยที่ไม่เชี่ยวชาญอะไรเลยไม่ได้แกก็เลือกสายเชี่ยวชาญด้านวิทยาศาสตร์
ไม่เอาเพราะว่ามาคลิปนี้รู้สึกว่าเราไปก็ไม่อ่านการศึกษาที่เรียนพอละ
มันประเด็นอีกเรื่องหนึ่งหรือว่าอะไรอะไรของคุณ
ได้
เยอะเยอะช่วยเยอะ
ถ้าเกิดว่ามีต้องไปอ่านนะคือจะทำให้ตัวเองเป็นบิ๊กเนมในเอเชียไม่ยากเลยแค่หาฟิลเล่นยิ่งฟิลที่คนไม่ค่อยเล่นง่าย
ผมที่ได้รู้จักตรงนี้ได้ก็ไปส้มที่ว่ารู้จักใครครับคือไปส้มให้เป็นตัวแทนในส้มมาได้นะครับ
แล้วไม่ป่วยหรือจะเป็น
เดี๋ยวก็มีโรคหัวใจแล้วแม่จะแบบใครแบบว่าใครเลยอะคะ
ไม่ต้อง
ไม่ต้องปวดไว้ไม่ต้องทำงานไม่ถึงไหน
เสียมานั่งอยู่ข้างพยาน
ปกติเขาไม่มีเวลาพยาเป็นพยาบาลเป็นอาจารย์พยาบาล
มันถึงว่าไม่มีอาการอะไรไม่อยู่เสียไปเลยนะนั่นเสียไปเลยดีๆอย่างเงี้ย
นั่งอยู่แล้วก็
พูดไปเลย
โผล่เข้าไป
แต่ว่า
เกิดอะไรอ่ะ
นอนน้อยทำงานนะจริงๆพวก
จริง
นี้
ๆ
เขา
คื
นอน
อ
น้อย
เรา
ทำงานอ่ะ
ต้องดูระยะยาวด้วยการทำงานของเราที่
ทำงานตลอดเวลา
ทำเก็บทำผมเพื่อสะสมความเหนื่อยการใช้สะสม
ไม่แต่ผมอ่ะไม่มีอาทิตย์ละมันจะมี1 วันที่ผมพักผ่อนร่างกายเลยคือไม่ใช่อะไรคือนอนตั้งแต่3 ทุ่มแล้วก็พูดยาวเลยขนาดนั้นก็คือก็นอนต่อยาวจนขึ้นวัน
มันไม่ได้แม่มันต้องสอนที่
นี่
แบ
แบบ บเป็นหลักเป็นหลัก
มันไม่แบบมันจะทำอะไรมาถึงไหนไม่ได้
ไม่ได้มันต้องทุกวัน
มันไม่
มันต้องทุกวัน
ไม่แต่ที่นั่นทุกวันน่ะผมก็นอนเที่ยงคืนตี 1อะไรอย่างนี้
สาม
ไม่หรอกช่วงมาที่นี่หรอกมันรู้สึกว่ามันมีอะไรที่ทำดี
ผมว่าจะเป็นอย่างนั้น
เอาไหมปกติถ้ากลับไปที่นอนตี12มันก็นอนนะถ้ามีงานก็
ไม่ยินหรอก
ส่งมาที่ส่งมาตอนส่งมางานเราที่จะเอาทีนี้เสร็จมาท
ก็นะสกีมาแล้วก็ไม่อยากปักสกีใครกลับก็ไม่ทำ15 หน้าคืนเดียวแต่นี่ไม่
ำ
ได้
เอาไปเลย
เ
งเรามีภรรยาคุณก็เป็นแบบนี้แล้วเด็ดมากกว่านี้
วันนั้นผมพูดอยู่ดีๆนะยกประเด็นขึ้นมาคุณเอาคุณเอา
คือผู้บริหารโรงเรียนนะถ้ามาจากที่อื่นนะแต่ไทยโทษเพราะว่าการมองคือเศรษฐกิจ
มันแต่งยังไงนี่เลยจะไปอ่านเรื่องการศึก
ว่า
ษา
คุณ
เรียน
อ
ว่า
ยู่ใน
เรื่อง
โซ
สอบ
เชียล
ถาม
มีเดียด้วยส่วนหนึ่งไม่เหมือนนะเรามาจากที่อื่นไม่รับไม่รู้ใช่ไหมไม่ได้อยู่เราไม่เข้าใจมาเด็ก
มันหนักมือใช้ขนาดเราคนละขนาดกัน
โอ้ยไม่บางทีก็ต้องสร้างเพราะนั่นทำให้เป็น
กว่าจะเจาะแล้วถ้าทำอย่างนั้นได้มันทะลุทลายกระแพงลำบากว่าเขาสร้างเกราะหนามากแล้วก็หลายชั้น
เขา
มาก
เจอมาหลายทีนะ
แล้วทีมบริหารก็
ที่จะมาแบบว่า
ทีมบริหารก็จะเป็นคนเดิมๆนึกออกไหมไอเดียเราเสร็จก็เลยมาเป็นเดิมบางเดือนนั้นเราย้ายไปเซส
นั่นเนี่ย
แต่ทำงานทำหน้าอย่างนี้ดีกว่ามาก็หลุด
เอ๊ะอยู่ที่ใครไปไหนก็ไปไกลใครอยู่ก็อยู่แบบเดิม
เหมือนกันขนาดจะชมวิชาพวกแนว
เยอะรถได้รถอะไรรถซ้ำ
เขาไม่อย่างนี้เขาไม่ได้ผ่านฟิลเขาไม่ได้ไปผ่านฟิลอื่นมานอกจากฟิลนั้น
เขาใช้แค่ประสบการณ์เราที่เรียนในห้องในการสอนเรามาก
มีละหมาดที่ไหน
นี่ตรงนี้มาตรงนี้ข้างหน้านี่เลย
เขาเป็นเวลาละหมาดพร้อมกันเหรอ
เขาเรียกว่าอะไรเขาเรียกเซสชั่นว่าโลเวอร์กับอัปเปอร์เนี่ย
ผู้หญิงใจเราจะเปิดที่ เราไม่ต้องห่วง
แพ้
แผลกลาง
แพ้
กระดูกเล็กๆอย่างนี้นะ
แพ้
ไม่รู้สึกว่าเป็นใช่
ผมเองทำได้ผมรู้แล้ว
แต่ไม่ได้กินแค่นั้นแต่อร่อย
ได้นี่ไงที่นี่การสบาย
มีใครกินมาม่าไหม
อยากไม่หรอกเวลาที่นี่นี่นี่
อร่อยไหมมาม่าเกาหลีเหรอ
เราบอกเขาเลย
แบบเดิมไม่มีหรอก
กินตรงนี้แหละ
กินในถ้วยไม่ได้กินในนั้นนี่จืดกว่าแต่มันก็มีความเป็นเฉพาะรสชาติโรงแรมสุดท้ายยังไม่ได้จอง
อ่ะนั่นแหละ
คือสไตล์
อ้าวไม่ได้อยู่ตรงนี้ตลอดหรอ
เห็นไหมคือตรงเนี้ย
นั่นแหละมันข้ามไปของน้ำไปหน่อย
มันไม่ได้ไปนอนไม่ได้กินแต่อยากไปนอนเป็นหนาพิม
อ๋อเรื่องนั้นพอดีจะได้ไม่งั้นควันเราตอนนี้ไม่ทำนอน
ที่สองก็ออกที่สามอ
อ๋อ
อก
ไม่ได้ต้องรีบบอก
ที่สามแล้วก็ตอนนั้น
ไอ้ผมไม่เป็นไรมันจะไม่นอนดีมานั้น
ต้องนอนแล้ว
ก็เป็นที่หายใจเนี่ยเป็นนอนหายใจสองสามวันนี้คุณนอนสบายไม่แต่งงานแค่ได้บอกว่าจริงเหรอ
ไม่อยากพูดอยู่ในกลางคอ
ไม่ใจเลยไม่ใจเลย
เดี๋ยวรอ
เป็นคออยู่
ไม่ถ้าไม่มีงานมาผมก็ไม่แต่งไงถ้ามีผมก็อยู่ดาว
นี่แหละเหมือนผนังห้องนี้ไปเลย
รู้สึกหายใจไม่ออกแล้วก็ติดแอร์แล้วก็มันติดเลยตัวว่าให้มันแบบ
แล้วบางรถก็รับลงนั่นแหละ
ไม่รู้เหมือนกันว่าแจ้งที่ไหน
อ๋อเปิดไม่ได้เพราะว่าเด็กเข้ามาเลย
เพื่อก็จะทำอะไรเพื่อใช่ป่าวว่าในบ้านมีคนมาที่คนแรก
เ
บ้านกัน
ไปใน
อ๋อหลายวันเหมือนกัน
ใช่อ่ะใช่ไปเรื่อย
ก็ผู้บริหารเรา
ที่ไหน
มีประมาณ
ที่ไหน
สักคน
อ๋อเอาแล้วพวกเราขอเราประชุมเรื่องอะไรบ้าง
ผู้บริหารจะครั้ง
อยากไปดูสอน
และทำงานประจำ
ก็อยู่ที่ไหนมีความสุขก็อย่างอยู่ที่นั่น
น่าจะไม่ได้ไปจะไม่ทำสุด
มีความสุข
ก็อาจจะมีความ
มีความทุกข์น้อยกว่า
มากกว่า
แล้วที่จะว่าเขาไม่มีอะไรแบบ
แค่อยู่ในวันสนุกทาเลยหรอ
เด็ก
พวกบุคลากรมีอะไรแบบเจอ
พวกคุณไม่ได้เลยทุก
แต่ว่าจะมีหน่อยที่จะ
คือมันมีอะไรนะเนี่ย internal process เราดูสกอร์การสกอร์การ
มีอะไร
มี
นะ
internal process การทำงานการภายในเราเป็นพี่น้องเราเป็นทำงานแบบทีทายทุกวันเรามีทีทายทุกวันโมง
นี่นะ
ของเราเลย
ทีมไทย
ทีทายทุกวันแล้วก็จะพอวันพุธอะไรจะซัพพอร์ตคนอื่นให้เกิดผลในเอาของพี่น้องของวันแต่ว่าควรเป็นอาหารนี่คือวันพุธพุธสัปดาห์
แล้วเราก็
ประมาณนั้นคุยกันแล้วก็ถ้าของสมาคมของสมาคมนั้นมีวิดีโอที่นี่จะนั่งแยกเชฟจากสมาคมก็ไม่ไปฟังกันแล้วก็ที่ของอาจารย์อยู่แล้ว
จอยไปได้ไหม
ที่ร้านจอย
ย้าย
นั่งจอยแต่เฉพาะเรื่องจะได้เชื่อมในฟอร์มจำนำไม่ขนาดนั้นเรานะ
มีแค่เท่าไหร่
มีว่าเรียนเป็นคุณจะเป็นก่อนจะเป็นอยู่แล้วไงจะไปเริ่มจากก่อน
เริ่มทำ2 คนก็ทำ
ทำตอนทำใหม่อยู่ก็ใหม่ก็จะรับเป็นทำใหม่แต่ส่วนใหญ่จะอยากเป็นเด็กต่อเนี่ยก็เรื่องมัน
เราทำไหนกับถามการเรียนได้ไม่ว่าจะ
ได้แล้วไม่ว่า
เป็นที่จะรับหลายคนมอง
ตา
ว่า
แรกนี่เลยเลยงานเราเลย
ไม่แต่เรามีความสุขเรามีความสุขในการทำงาน
เนี่ยคนมันรู้สึกว่ามันมีแบบนั้นนี้
ท่านเยอะท่านคนเยอะ
มันนั่นคือเราเรื่องสารพัดที่เราคิดว่าแบบ
สองมีวัน
ให้คนมีเรื่องรู้ที่มีเราเราแบบเรื่อง
ใครถามใครชื่อยูสงสารชื่อนี้ยูอุ้ยผมสลับอุณหภูมิจริงๆอ่ะ
รูปแบบรูป
โต๊ะเอาไปบอกว่ายูสนุกแต่ถ้าเปิดเขียนไม่ถูก
เข้าใจสัก
ก็เราไม่มีเสียงวอลไหมก็ไม่มีเสียงวอลไหม
เดี๋ยว
ยูทูบยูทูบ
ก็ไม่น้อย
ก็เลยมาเป็นยูสง
ยูทูบ
ก็คือเปลี่ยนชื่อนะเปลี่ยนอะไร
เป็นโยเซฟ
ก็เจ๊
เปลี่ยนทำไมเรื่องต่างชาติเรียกไม่เปลี่ยน
ยูทูบมันง่ายดีไม่ชื่อเป็นเตียนอะไรไม่เหมือนกัน
ใช่
ยูเซฟ
ทั่วโลก
ปฏิมาเธอ
เป็นยูนิเวอร์แซล
ปฏิมาก็เหมือนกันปฏิมาก็ไม่ใช่เฉพาะมุสลิม
ถ้าไปจากประเทศนั้นถ้ายูทูบนั่นเดี๋ยวไม่ได้
yes คือ
ไอ้ที่มาขายนี่นี่นี่
ขาแค่มาพาดกินเนื้อที่เราขาแกไม่น่าจะยาวเข้ามาในที่เราได้
ใช่ขาวไม่ได้จะยาวแต่ว่าขาแกจะ
ไป
ยาว
เอาแกงเย็นนิดหน่อยจะไปไหนกันครับ
เวนัม
เอาตรงนี้ใช่หรอ
นะเวโอนี่อะไรอ่ะเนี่ย
นั่นแหละไม่ก็
เพราะวันนี้
ไป
เรา
สาย
ใส่
ไป
สาย
แล้ว
สาม
นะก็
อาจจะคือในนี้
ที่ตอนนั้นจะเดินตามรอยที่มีรถไฟฟ้าอะไรแบบนี้
จิตาฟ้าร
ถ
รถคันนี้มีนะที่มอนะเดี๋ยว
ไปไหน
ที่เรา
นี่
ไม่
มีนั
ว่า
ดเจอผู้ใหญ่แล้วก็พอช่วงเช้าช่วงบ่ายก็
นัดจนเช้าเราต้องไปใช่ไหมต้องไปไหมเลยเนี่ย
ในเราต้องเก็บในเราตัวเองแค่คนเดียว
ไม่มีปัญหา
อยากไปไกลของเอง
ตื่นตัวกลับบ้าน
เล่นต่อไม่ได้หรอ
นอนโรงแรม
หลังเรียนแล้วถ้าเรามีตาฟ้าช็อปปิ้งเซ็นเตอร์มันก่อนเจ้าของธุรกิจอื่นก็ฉันโดนแฟนเบียดว่าแฟนเขาไม่อยากเชื่อได้งานที่สุดของตาฟ้านี่ก็ได้เป็นที่เดินก็ได้เวลาใช้ฟ้าเราสมุดหลังก็ทีไปก็ได้ไปก็ได้ไปก็ได้ นี่คนไหนๆนะเราที่ทำเราต้องแล้วอยู่ที่เราคือแล้วก็ไอ้คนไหนที่เป็นระดับเองเป็นแกเป็นแชร์แชร์แล้วก็ทำขยายเองอยากเพิ่มการศึกษาในเรื่องนั้นใช่ไหม
Prof, I couldn't get for the return ticket to go back to Kenya, but I send you the flight itinerary, which is it will be 13, and then also 14. So 13, that is Saturday. Saturday there is flight to come, but going back, so I don't know about that because we couldn't get it. So it's full. Booking to return back is full until Monday. All are full. So I was thinking that if to book on Tuesday.